So I'm approaching the final stage of rebuilding my engine. Literally rebuilding, because I will have to use a completely different rendering way. I've mentioned in one video, it's still a very fucking complicated deal. So I'm gonna try use 32 as a split into boxes for my camera, and then place all the objects there, and then read it as normal. First, I will use points. So if the objects exist, I'm just gonna return a point on the screen, and then slowly work my way up to like actual polygons being shown. It's not gonna be that difficult. The most difficult part is like how to store things and how to read them. That's the big part. There's a lot of questions. Can I do this? Can I do that? I don't know. So if I bump into a wall immediately, that could really ruin me. I have figured out how to put correctly a point on a screen. From 3D space to 2D space. That's a pretty big move. So now all it comes down to is making sure that it all works out. I have isolated myself. The only thing I do is maybe play Hearthstone, and that's it. So just to relax. I don't add anyone any influence points. This is usually a good way to use time, I would think. It's not even wasted time. It's not a particularly high level use of time though. This is we're talking about billions of dollars here. Right? That has been invested to create Minecraft. So the next obvious step is another huge investment, potentially. For me, if I want to save the world, then this is what I do, type of move, right? Am I really that confident that this can beat Minecraft? Minecraft is like the new technology being introduced to the world. Somehow Notch figured out how to fucking pull it off, even though he kind of copied and pasted someone else's engine in a way. And then someone might actually steal my engine and just do their own thing faster than I can do it. You know, am I really gonna publish it that easily? Well, the code is gonna be out there pretty much, if people can figure out for themselves how it works. But I'll just keep pushing forward. I don't think, I think I can slip away quite fast. The real question is, again, how much efficiency am I getting? What am I getting in the end? How would it look like? Is of course a huge question. But the first thing to answer, does it fucking work in the first place? Can I even do this without failure in a few days? And not weeks and months. Can I actually break through the problem that I was dealing with the whole time, which is like, even if you put everything into a grid, you're still working with a grid. Breaking through the grid identity and like it's such a weird thing, just having a grid that's actually finite. You can't just put objects wherever you want them to go. And you usually would put objects in a 2D array and then save those arrays in case like you're exploring a land of some kind. So this is how my camera works. But let's say you have a bunch of objects laying around. That's your one map, a typical map, and you load another one as your player moves. And you collect all the objects that's supposed to be rendered, and then you figure out the order in which they are getting rendered. And it still looks like ray tracing, but it isn't, and it happens every frame as well. You collect all the objects and they send to the camera immediately. It sounds efficient. I can do it pretty well now. So let's see what happens. I'll try not to bother with the code parts, because there's a lot going on. But there's mainly gonna be 3 functions, right? I'm gonna clear object array. I'm gonna fill it up based on distance, and then we're gonna project it on the screen as we read through them linearly, as our camera picks up the arrays in a chunk format, right? 32 by 32. And they move forward, reading everything that's inside. Not necessarily this kind of way. The arrays are going to be linear. At first I thought I could squeeze it like this and use something else, but it's best to just make it simple, and arrays are actually linear. So depending again where the object is, that's their distance. And as you read, some of them are going to be obscured a little bit. Some pixels don't have to be rendered. We'll see how it all goes, but first I just want to put some pixels on the screen and see that it truly understands 3D space. I can truly recreate objects. We already have plenty of objects to recreate, so if I hit certain buttons, I get 4, right? Oh no, it's loading. Yeah. But you have basically a landscape of blocks if I hit a certain room. And using that room, data basically. So let's say this thing, random terrain. Random terrain gets generated, and there's a bunch of blocks. There's a bunch of objects, technically. Technically, I can still have those objects anywhere out there, but I will read specifically them right now and see if I can put them in the screen with this method instead of ray tracing, which would immediately result in me oh, that's way better. Way better. Ray tracing kind of sucks. Ray tracing really asks you to do a lot of things that might not even be necessary. And despite you being able to be very efficient with the threading, multi-threading, which is the main part of GPU boost versus CPU, is that you can multi-thread the task of rendering, and it handles a lot better. But even with that, I'm still kind of in a low end. It seems like it's just handling at 30 FPS, because some rays go very, very far and they kind of lag everything behind. This process, however, of just adding pixels to the screen potentially is even more easy to control, and there's always going to be a limit at which you can cut the processing, and just stop adding pixels to the screen. If you want to, you can literally just select exactly at which step it's going to break the math, even though the math is potentially quite simple as well. You already know what objects you're going to draw. You don't necessarily have to worry if you hit the object as well. There's a lot more that can be done in that sense. Whew, so this is what is it? I kind of made an announcement. It helps me maybe even locate where when I started. So I started like 2 days ago. Let's put it this way. I started 2 days ago, and I'm still confident that now I'm kind of warmed up. And again, I want no distractions, nothing. Maybe put on some music and we plow through this, because as simple as it is, it took me forever, literally forever, literally 8 years, but maybe more like 5-ish years, on and off. I'm looking into this. How do I make this efficient? I finally have the formula. It's really hard to find material naturally about stuff like this, so I might not be the only fucking one who does that, but honestly, I looked into how other people are doing their rendering. I did found a few people doing ray tracing as a way of rendering, but I've never heard of this method before, even though it's very reminiscent of just throwing polygons at the screen. Very much an old school method. It's just more organized. And one thing that I figured out is how to sort things, right? So I put things into a big array, and based on something, right? So just like I used Unity, YouTube Map, I used YouTube Map to sort by name. I can use the same technique, sorting by distance, and it's a very, very important thing, because like the further the distance for an object is, the less pixels I have to throw at the screen. Obviously, figuring out the level of detail is its own question mark, but that's something that should be automated after all. And we're probably going to be dealing with blocks, right, instead of just something very intricate, something very polygon polished. After all, Minecraft still works with blocks, and if you can actually do that efficiently, if you can throw stuff into the screen efficiently, like, holy shit. Level of detail is probably the easiest thing to do. So we'll figure that one out as well. But it just seems like I found a perfect way to do this. So let's figure out if it works. Let's figure out how long it will take me to get to that second stage. The first stage was to put a point on the screen. It took me quite a while, but we have made it to the first stage. I can't quite give a presentation on that. I don't even know what I would get. I wouldn't get anything, actually, for this screen. So yeah, there are 3 steps. Empty hyper objects. I call them hyper objects. Honestly, just objects. You empty the object array. Add them into a huge array, and then feed into the camera as they are sorted linearly. It's almost like ray tracing, again, almost, but very much not at all. It's more of a search engine, is more something that would that Euclidean would brag about, but wouldn't really explain how they do it. It's kind of annoying if someone doesn't explain their magic trick, because we're all trying to just get to the point, get to actually realize your dream, right? What is your dream? Let me fucking know. What is your dream? I'm talking about shit all the time. I'm dreaming all the time. It doesn't mean that people want to make my dreams reality. It still means that I'm trying to figure things out for myself. And maybe the biggest move in life is just at least completing one dream of your own. Okay? One big dream of your own kind. So yeah. That is my task. Let's see if it works. And also, once this is finished, I will have to clear up like all the code pretty much. All of the code. All this raycast bullshit, everything. It's just gonna go away. Because the loading time for Compute Shader is all about how much code is in here. And it's terrifyingly long. 2 minutes is terrifyingly long to compile Compute Shader. You want to keep it as simple as possible, and ray tracing just can't quite do it. Maybe in some worlds ray tracing is completely fine and it's actually easy to do. but I've done that, and it's getting out of control now. It's just out of control. I kind of, I had two choices of like, okay, I can still use the ray tracing method, but I have to simplify it and make sure that objects are also rendered easily. And I kind of bumped into this area of like, well, maybe there is another way. So I'm trying this second solution. If everything fails, which is unlikely, I can still go back to ray tracing. So again, there's a lot of work to do. I have to shut myself off. YouTube Rewind is kind of cancelled, double cancelled. I can't do it. There's a lot of work in there that has to be put in before my system can just spit out a YouTube Rewind, something that's actually fun to look at. Yeah, I mean, you would think that making things manual is a little bit annoying, because it becomes a long video of like, okay, I checked this guy out, we got a few points, then let's check this guy out. Oh, more points. Wow, amazing. It would be a much more lovely experience if some kind of story writes itself out. So not particularly excited yet about YouTube Rewind, but maybe I'll come up with something as well. Maybe there's a better solution, so to speak. Especially after I have my engine ready, maybe it can do something. Like, you never know. I just have to shut myself off, because this would be a life-changing moment if something works. It's just so fucking satisfying. I'm laying down in my bed and like, oh, wait, that is possible. I just rearrange objects and I read them. Like, what's the point? What's the problem? And it's fast too. Like, you would think sorting is a very long and tedious process, but it's not. It can happen very, very quickly. So let's go. I'm like, wait. Just to add a point to the screen, that's all I have to do, this fucking one line. Read an object position to the screen, results a pixel. We replicate this process to a decent sized square based on as well resolution size, but it doesn't matter necessarily. We can make the point any size, honestly. We can do -5 + 5, who cares, right? So that would make it 10 points, actually 11 times 11. The actual point is going to be its own thing, so we do that. That should work. So if we see like a nice little terrain recreation, then we succeeded. It's still unlikely to actually happen, because I don't know how data sets work necessarily. How do you redefine them and everything? Does it really work? Is it that easy? I will still have to like double check. There is her, okay? She fucking nailed it in terms of making a tutorial 4 years ago. It was quite fresh the first time I picked up. I think it was 1 year ago. 2007. Maybe even 18. I still don't know actually. When I first picked this up. Either 17 or 18. And she did the point simulation, which is just as good of an example in a way. I just can't find the screen for it. I think maybe she does the... No, she does the points here. She talks about the structure, which is you need to learn that stuff when you're dealing with points, particles, right, running around. So I'm pretty much recreating that, but in 3D space. And that means these are objects and they can be rendered properly. The only thing that what I was missing is like, how do you order those objects so you don't actually render all of them all the time? It's like, what's the point? And, well, it's just such a normal way of rendering. It's just old school rendering. The only difference here is just ordering them to special little screens. It's almost like, imagine you're rendering Minecraft and Minecraft is trying to like, if something is away from the screen, then you don't render it. Imagine that, but I have a bunch of tiny screens that do exactly that. That capture only the things that it sees, and it sees its own particular thing, so like, yeah. You literally just buy a bunch of tablets and all of them work simultaneously. That's what's going on with GPU. You put your displays together. It might even fucking function so well that it exactly becomes that. You know, you just put a bunch of tablets and you play Minecraft. I don't know. If something is efficient, then it just kicks ass. Now, I don't know, again, I still don't know how it would work in a mobile space. How do they render things? What kind of GPU you can actually put in there, so I have no idea. Technically, all I know is like this is using DirectX 11 language as compute shaders. It's written in HLSL. That's it. That's all I know, guys. If you can run DirectX in your phone, then congratulations. Alright, so let's read the first build. I think I should do it while I am building it in the background, so it's loading up. And every single time I finish something, I read it. This process is pretty simple. Again, empty objects. This is happening every single second, I guess. Every frame. Every update. Right? It's trying to. Doesn't necessarily will. Empty and read into camera. Those are the processes that matter. There's a bunch of outside things happening. But let's read the main part of this thing. Right, all we need to do is have 3 functions. Empty objects. Objects array. Fill and objects array let's say sorted fill. That's all we need. A little bit of a sorted fill. That's that. So we basically have empty, fill, and read. So this is read. This is empty. This is fill. Okay. And all we need is like to get some points on the screen that resemble what used to be blocks, but they're just points on a screen. And they can freely move around and create all kinds of structures immediately. Alright, so first thing we do... Oh. I don't think this part is finished, actually. What we need to get is actual grid ID. Here we're getting grid ID that's 2D. It's not even being used anywhere. So, 1 second. Okay, we got a grid position. It's one of those things. 32 by 32. Then we get the camera slot. We actually... Well, the grid position means that the point gets translated to one of those squares on the screen. So the point is here. And we kind of know where it is, but we still need the ID. So we add 32 together, because every line is 32. We get the ID around 60 or 70. With that, we have a read size, so it's how big the array is going to be. I can hold 1 million objects at the moment. It's probably going to be scaled up a little bit, maybe to 10 million if I need to. It all depends. So that's how big these arrays are. I can potentially feed texture, a 3D texture, and it's gonna hold all the information. So that's kind of fascinating. This part here, so estimated position is based... Actually, it's not supposed to be a float, but it's floored. Maybe it works. It doesn't throw any errors for some reason. Oh, it does. So we have a few errors to work with. I wonder if I can find them. Raycast rendering. Oh, it's raycast rendering though. Has nothing to do with... What is it trying to do here? It's kind of weird. It's a float? What are you talking about? It's not a float. Object max is not a float. It's the define function that picked the wrong deal here. So there's maximum amount of objects that I will hold, and maximum distance is also on the same batch of numbers that I've added. In the wrong place, apparently. That's super minor annoyance. But we have to reset everything again. So we're gonna do this and save. Okay, while we read. Estimated position, it's again better to be an integer. Floor it anyways. Right. So it goes, I goes to, not actually 0, it goes to the estimated position, and it checks 20 more slots in case we hit a dead end, we hit something that's already occupied with an object. So hyper objects, it reads the object, then it reads the position to be not equal to vector 3, 0, meaning it's completely stationary in a specific spot here right now. Can be anything but vector 0, whatever. So and then it applies the position. So the object now has a position. That means it kind of exists. It's worth reading. And it adds it again in a specific estimated position as well. This should kind of go first, because this is actually a bigger number, followed by estimated position, which can only be a certain size. Now again, I think I'm doing it wrong. There's only a certain size that I can allow. Which is read size. I split the max amount of objects I can hold for every array, right? So there's 1 million in total, and I have to split it for every box here to hold this array. So there's probably another limitation of like there can only be, let's see here, 1 million divided by 64, around this many objects in one box, which is still tremendous amount. Okay, this is ridiculous. It's never gonna happen. But that's what can be held in one box until it starts glitching up or whatever. Let's put it this way. Whew, okay, so with that in mind, that's the read size. We have to ensure that estimated position is not exceeding that right now. So when we are doing this, I think I have to divide it by this. No. So we have a max function. And this thing maxes out. But we also have can just simply check if estimated position is actually smaller than we can actually write down. So yeah, there's still, because the array is actually so small, that's the biggest problem, right? This is not quite a big array, but this is something I use. This is the size array I actually use for YouTube map. So you can imagine I'm maximally working with 200 objects, and they kind of fit neatly in this array of 10,000. So, and this one is 15,000. Not sure still how it all gonna fit, what kind of size I'm gonna look at to try and implement. The biggest problem is simply I think it's so weird that it's a lot easier to add 3D texture inside than adding read-write structure buffers. And they might not even update the same way that read-write textures are updated. which is why initially I wanted to use those instead of just having this sort of functionality. So we'll see. I still don't expect this to work. What else do we have there? So we have a fill function kind of set up properly. The empty function is supposed to be fairly simple. It splits into threads. So this 32 by 32 is just multi-threaded task. You pick your own thread. Already it's kind of weird, right? Like one, but this is where the magic happens, right? You pick up the BID is your index, your thread index. So what kind of reads, what kind of block of hyper objects you have to clear? That's what it says. Where do you start? And then you clear everything up to read size. So you clean up one slot out of 1000 slots. On the screen everything is cleared. And then you just read it and add points to it. So again, bit ID, you take your location, you read all the objects the same exact way. If you hit anything that doesn't have vector 0 as a position, you give a point. You give an indication to the screen, which actually has no indication whatsoever. Whoops. Color red. Okay. I made a terrible mistake. So nothing would be drawn to the screen. Alright, so we found a few misses here, but let's see if it loads up and gives us something to work with for the next step. If it works exactly as intended and it shows points, I've literally done my job. It's a rendering engine. It's already done. The third step is actually very guaranteed, basically, to work. Like if I already have a 11 by 11 square, I can just texture it the way that I want and pretty much have flat textures at first as blocks and play with those a little bit until I get bored and move on to actual 3D structures and polygons and everything. I think it loaded quite fast. I think it's because I'm not using ray tracing here, and also because of the mess that's still here. What the fuck is going on? Cannot convert. Not converting anything, dude. Are they talking about this thing? Okay. I'm cool. Yeah, because I'm not using raycast as a function, which is a huge function. What is this? I thought that I could trust Compute Shader to, you know, be my programming language, so I dumped a bunch of stuff in there. And that's the end result, basically. If you use raycast, you're in a lot of trouble, basically. I will still have to extract the poly reading, the way that I do polygons. I'm not sure if it's hard at all. I already have this, which is line hit 2D geo function. When ray tracing hits an object, it kind of does that too, right? The only difference, I don't know what the difference is, and I really don't care. It just tests whether it hits the object, right? So it hits the polygon, it hits 2D geo, and then accordingly it will apply a texture here with the block render, which looks like a big chunk of inputs for a very simple output, which is a pixel. It's pretty interesting, isn't it? Oh yeah, ray tracing, the best thing in the universe. But hey, hurry up, asshole. Alright. I'm nervous, man. This could be anything. No, it didn't summon anything. Come on, man. That's not fair. Can we at least do the testing so I see where the point's supposed to be? And that this alone itself is capable of functioning. This alone itself is also capable of functioning. This will pinpoint the location where the blocks should begin rendering. Potentially, I'm just too far away from them? What? Was there another problem? What the f... Oh. 1 second. So it actually throws some kind of error here. Main ray. What is a main ray, right? Just looking for main ray. I don't know what main ray is. That's main ray right there. Screen trace, so it's the opposite process. Where point to screen comes. It's actually quite a fascinating thing, I would say. So you have up, forward, and aside. If you push those vectors forward, you can actually create ray trace, or from a camera you get rays, right? And actually this, when you move by X, you're actually moving by 1 pixel at a time, or move by Y. So you can have all these little vectors creating a screen. And when you need a point to hit the screen, you kind of scale the screen up by Z, by how far away the point is, right? So you pinpoint that, and you need to dot, basically. You need to learn how to dot things. Dotting is just, you take a point and you project it onto a line with the shortest distance. So you dot it, and that's kind of where your point is. You actually dot it onto a plane entirely, pretty much. But it's just, dotting onto a plane is just dotting on 2 vectors. It's the same thing. And because it's scaled, it's kind of in an appropriate position, because like as the screen moves further away, it scales and captures more points. So that's kind of fascinating as well. I think we fixed that, right? We didn't? We didn't fix that? Main ray? I just added main... Oh fuck, I didn't save it. Again, I think it loads a lot less without ray tracing, raycasting, I mean. Raycast rendering. Still pretty long, actually. Wow, okay. What was the point of that, then? Of me saying that it doesn't load that long. tried, guys. So yeah, the point it hits here, it's all about the ratio, obviously. So even though it's all scaled, the point returns a ratio of where it's supposed to be. And then scaled by resolution, you get exact pixel where it hits as well. It's kind of fascinating how the process is, how to reverse the process, how to capture a point is actually a lot more harder to figure out. Even though what I actually did, because it actually sounds pretty complicated, like scale things and whatnot. What I actually did was just reverse ray trace. So you have a ray and you just reverse the ray until it hits the screen, and you just like, oh, that's where it is. That's where the point is. There's quite no scaling. I'm not sure exactly how it works. I just reversed the process, and it seemed to work flawlessly. So that's amazing. That little shit doesn't actually move, which is unbelievable, actually. Little red dot doesn't move and show anything. I'm kind of looking around and I don't see anything. What the hell? Why is it not moving? It's definitely missing something. It's missing F position, which is the screen position, god damn it. Oh shit. That's a big one. I'm still like bringing the point back to the screen thingy. And the normal process is to have little squares represent the screen, and then you cast a ray. And if you capture something, you kind of fill it up with that one object that you have captured. In my case, I will be capturing every object and sending it to the screen, but in an order. So it's still its own process right now, so it kind of conflicts with the way that I write stuff here, and it also conflicts with the way I'm supposed to send stuff on the screen, I think, of which pixel it belongs to or whatever. But even worse, I can't quite test anything because of that. So how do I fucking test anything then? Let's find out. Fuck me, man. Of course it's never gonna happen the first time. So the problem is trying to figure out exactly how to split the BID into sections of the screen. How to do this thing exactly. So I'm trying to create blue dots here to represent that I know these locations. So once I get that, I can still project things onto the screen. I can still throw rays based on whatever I care about, I suppose. Although I'm not trying to hit this object anymore, I don't think. This is a little bit out of my league right now to bring it back. Because we just have this 32 by 32, that's how many rays I can cast. There are unique rays. They're probably not gonna hit anything anyways. Let's see. I don't see any blue dots, honestly. Oh, now I see them. Okay, they're still not distributed properly. They are trying to distribute themselves kind of nicely here, but it doesn't look like they're climbing up. Maybe I'm missing something. Maybe they're not scaled up properly. They also occupy the bottom of the screen. And there's also a bunch of dots here too. They are red. They're trying to tell me either one of these things, okay? Either one of these are casting red dots. The blue dots, however, are kind of small. It's worth doing this as well. And then adding on here. So they're bigger, most importantly. Still not sure if BID is actually exactly what I need, but normally it would be the case. BID. So when I do the BID, I put it on this thing, so it split itself up a little bit, and it does seem to go up a little bit, but by one layer, not 32 layers. So that is very concerning. How is it possible? Well, it's probably possible because I did probably just add 32, and that's it. But no, this is vector 2, 32 by 32. Right, so it's kind of not that. Okay. It's kind of what it's supposed to be. Like, base resolution is barely 500 by 300. So 32 by 32 is still significant enough, so it would work. I'm just concerned that I don't know how to read BID. I was only using F position in a fucking weird ass way, where BID would just be super simple. It's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, guys. You don't need to worry about. And I can split that very easily as well. So I'm not sure, man. I'm kind of stuck right now a little bit until I figure this out and tell you guys what happened. How do I turn these blue dots into something significant? So when we checked the screen, there were blue dots, right? And there were actually 32 of them. But 32, 2 lines of 32. So I'm gonna try and pull this up and see if those lines, just there are 2 lines and that's it. That's all I get. Yeah, I'm not getting any new lines, actually. I'll just put it in the middle of the screen just because I can. Just because I'm so fucking awesome. Then I still have to figure out, because it shows me those things, right? Still need to figure out how to put the point on the goddamn screen, actually. It knows where it's supposed to go. I guess I just should leave it at that, just like I do it here. I should do the same thing here, where I detect the point and move it around so it creates a bigger point. Like this. Hopefully it works. So I don't need nothing concerning BID. I don't need it here either, in a way. The only concerning part is this. But it has nothing to do with this ID here. That I'm using to count screens, if I can even fucking grab enough of them. Which even that's a challenge, apparently. So the lines should be somewhere in the middle, which they are. Why only 2 lines, though? Oh, what happened there? This is kind of cute, though. Cool. The Dark Ages again. Dark Ages, we're gonna relive that real quick. Oh my god, guys. We got him on the screen. Bleeding the screen. Which is totally fine with me. Okay. Bleeding the screen. Look up and it goes down. What a stupid little thing. Obviously, I have to render everything, so everything has to dynamically change colors. Like the blue things are all constant updated. But the red one actually goes in front. So that's the dot indication of where everything is. So it's this little guy. I still have to figure out this guy too. These guys, like there's a lot of them in here. There's a lot of points I need. But potentially they don't even exist quite, because I have never actually added any objects successfully. Okay. I can still force like an object to be red or something like that. Force read an object. I don't quite like how this is super repetitive line of code, but I'll have to just suck it up and pretend that this is just a test run. The biggest question is like, what the fuck, BID? Told you to be a little bit bigger than this. So, is this what cut it off? Threading? Am I not supposed to thread things down? Potentially not. Potentially I'm just retarded. Potentially I'm very retarded. Oh yeah. Yeah, that's the one. That's the one that makes me retarded. Yep. No? What do you mean no? What the fuck? How is this a no? I literally... There's no way, man. What the fuck? There's literally more now. Stuff. Am I really that stupid? Is BID the stupidest thing ever or something? BID must be the stupidest thing then. Oh, look. It stopped being normal there. So that stopped being normal when I did that, obviously. This is still normal behavior though. This one in particular. Didn't really change actually. I'm gonna try and add like size to this. Dot. So we can like check how far away it is. Wait, is this really tiny right now? Oh my god. Yes! Let's go, man. Oh my god, it's the stupidest thing. It's the stupidest thing that's actually entertaining right now. Okay, okay. We got him. We got him, boys. Oh, come on, man. Oh, thank God. So, if I look into this part, group index, which is something... Wait. Dispatch thread ID is something that I often use, and it is cancer. Okay, look at this. That's a lot. That's fucking a lot. That's not 57. Group index, what the fuck? 57? Where do you get that? There's 3 layers. I don't know what we're looking at here. The 0 layer, okay. 57. How do you even get 57? Well, there's 9. So 9 times, well, actually 10? Plus 7? What? How is this even a... Oh. Oh, you count these as well. Okay, okay. So these are 10. Plus 7. That's what it is. But what is this then? What are we talking about here? What do you multiply it by to get this number? 10, 8. Where is this coming from? 10, 8, 3. 10, 8, 3 is the maximum thing, but I want to know what name is it? Num threads. Num threads attribute. Num threads. Well, for me it doesn't matter. I can turn dispatch thread ID into an actual ID. The group index is just fucking fad. Ah, fuck you, man. Never use group index. That's all I've learned this far. Ooh. Where are you now, buddy? Here you are. Here you are, piece of shit. Dot on the screen. It's bleeding my screen right now. Okay, okay. Yeah, so just a minor annoyance. Using BID is a stupid idea. Sounds about right. I also have field ID apparently. But how the fuck do I get this thing wrapped around my head like, what the fuck is this thing? Okay? I don't like that. You first might want to turn it into a linear thing first, one-dimensional, and then turn it into 2 dimensions. Doing this immediately from 3 dimensions to 2 dimensions, that's a very weird way of doing things, I think. Holy shit. It's not even guaranteed. I think because of this, I'm actually forced into 4s to be here. 4 threads guaranteed. I don't know, man. I don't like this at all. Because I'm hoping that 64 is divisible by 8 and by 4. So 8 times 8 and 4 times 4 times 4. Meaning that that's what I needed. Meaning that I can go from 3 dimensions to 2 dimensions, turning 4 into 8. This is a very weird thing that I did. I get it, okay? I've done so many weird things so far that my ray tracer is now a piece of garbage that only I can understand. I'm sorry, guys. So yeah, the BID is now, even though it's used to be 57, I calculated it improperly now. You take the dispatch thread and then take the X, plug it here, take the Y, plug it here. These are just thread numbers of threads, which is already defined here actually. I'm like, where is it? Where is it defined? What's going on? Am I missing something? Here it is. Kind of awkward. Or maybe just looks awkward. Also, where's my red dot? Give it back. Where are you, asshole? Oh, I saw you. Saw the line trace. I see you, man. Come back here, you piece of shit. Still not done with you. You can tell there's something weird going up there in this particular line that I'm drawing. Why did it end it? The blue stuff. What happened to you, Mr. Blue? The fuck? It stops midway, man. Thanks. Well played. Yeah, that is weird, man. It's gonna take a while again for me to figure out. And even though I fixed that part, it doesn't quite give me what I want. I guess I did fuck up something. Because point to screen now is just... Is it really this? I mean, it should be. Is grid ID really this? It should be, right? Have to double check everything. As little code as it is, it's just challenges me to figure out everything again. Just to ensure, just insurance policy, real quick. I don't quite have a white screen, but it doesn't stop me from going forward with this. I have a fucking weird screen. That's what it is. It's almost like a 12:9 or something, which makes everything slightly more complicated, but actually it makes it very complicated. I don't even know, man. For some reason, the height is the one that breaks through faster than the width. Makes absolutely no sense, but that's what I'm doing right now. I'm just making no fucking sense. How do I grid down by 32? Which is divided by 32, and I get 16 as width. In other words, we're back to the same thing. No, it's actually even worse then. It's a little bit worse. And better at the same time. How do I finish this structure? What am I missing? Oh, wait. But no. When I pixel gap like this, it multiplies everything. This and this. Because it's a float too. What the fuck is happening? So if I remove the pixel gap completely, what it's actually gonna do, it's actually gonna shrink this structure completely to the point where it sucks ass. It just looks horrible. So the real question is what the fuck, basically. How the fuck do I not understand my own structural integrity? I also use this thing as well. Right. What does it turn out to be? Yeah, I made sure that I can move it around just like the dot on the screen. It looks like this. And it looks garbage as well. It looks unfinished garbage. Because I'm actually trying to divide it by 32. I guess that's the problem? Trying to divide it by 32? Even though there should be 32 in there? 32 dudes? I don't understand, dude. So I'll have to test even more. Ah! Every time I have to load stuff. Potentially there is one thing though. But it's based... I don't know. Base resolution like this. It's 16 times 32. That's what it is. I'm kind of messing around with these numbers to try and fucking figure out what the hell. When I do 16 now, I want to at least see the screen like a fucking... what? Jesus Christ. A rectangle, of course. That's the word that I can forget very easily. I want to see something like this. Oh my god. See, I started hating to read stuff and do it according to plan that's carefully executed. And I put myself in that, like, I'm so close, just give me what I want mode. Where it's just like that, just nothing else I can do. I probably will have to multiply this by 4 or whatever. Or do something simple. But I just need a rectangle, then I can scale it up. Once I figure out how, obviously, but... Please give me a rectangle. Rectangle? Yeah, it's not a rectangle. It is not a rectangle. Probably if I do 8 is gonna be a rectangle. The most disappointing rectangle of all time. Fuck me, man. Is it... It almost feels like I'm being fucked by the same 2 fucking lines that never really wanted to change. Because I never really undefined anything. Fuck me. Stupid bit ID, man. That's impossible, right? It can't be the same 2 lines. But it probably is. I'm just so confused. I need my AID. Since I'm using BID, might as well use AID. There's no way I can't redefine it. None of this makes sense, man. What the fuck? This is what I do most of the time, basically. This is the moment where I'm like, fucking, I can't understand nothing. Nothing at all. I can't understand nothing. It's the stupidest thing. It's like I went this far and I still can't understand anything about compute shaders. Fuck! It's like fucking 6-dimensional bullshit. You zoom in and there's, oh wow, there's more, you know? Why? Why isn't there just an index? Why when I fucking turn this into an index, it's not an index at all that I'm looking for? Why this fucking worked this whole fucking time? I don't understand. So I think what it's saying is like you can dispatch this and it's gonna kind of multiply. I don't know. Well, it's gonna create one box, which is like a 3-dimensional. This thing is 3-dimensional, right? You can see, and one box contains this entire thing. of threads. And that's why it's 6-dimensional and why there's so many fucking things to calculate and figure out which one is which. Which gives me what? Just give me 6 dimensions and I fucking know what to do then. Instead of fucking multiplying everything. Just from 1 to 6 dimensions. Where am I right now? It's the worst. What do I do? Because the most useful thing, which is like the point ID, it does not exist for some reason. And when I do this, when I multiply by this, I don't know what I'm actually getting right now. I can't figure it out what I'm doing. This is unbelievable, man. The whole idea basically is the way that I was doing it, right? I take resolution, I divide it by threads, meaning that 2 numbers get divided by threads, and I'm dividing by 8. So technically I'm dividing by 64. What's the point of trying to run around and just exactly by 64 so that there's 64 threads spread out? Why not just fucking do 64 here and then calculate my bullshit properly? I don't know. I still don't know what the other numbers mean here. I have no idea at the moment. Besides, like, oh yeah, this is the ID here. There's the group thread ID that gets into group index. That's cool. The group ID is the which group is actually being executed. So I can use this, but it's already being used here. But I can kind of use this to understand and just multiply by 64. Because that's how much it's gonna go for. These guys gonna go for the multiple of these. So 240 in this box. 240. Really? That's a lot. No, in this box, in the 3D box. So 240 in this box, meaning in every group there's 240 as well. Threads, or whatever this shit is. In every box. And that's the idea inside the box. Which box is being opened. Okay, so we're starting to kind of grasp what it's all about. And that I have to divide this thing specifically by a certain amount. Okay? The fact that I used 8 is not quite visible here. It is not quite visible. I think I have to get rid of the idea of naming it threads, even though I am naming it thread. What's the problem, right? And the weirdest part, obviously, is when you use the 3D vector, you have to divide it by something that's a cube number. A cube. So 64 is a cube of 4. And it also works on a 2D as well, as I already told you. Now, what did I get this time? Because I'm trying different numbers. I still don't know what I'm doing, honestly. No, nothing happened. Don't worry about that. Nothing's happening here. I don't know what I'm doing. But I'm getting closer. But I kind of want to go to sleep now because I overloaded again. Overload shaman doesn't fucking work quite well, does it? Damn, dude. What a fucking weird dream, too. I thought it was weird enough that I had these vivid dreams show up. It's fucking weird. But this one is even kind of deeper because I just woke up and it's like, it had a very intriguing ending, I would say. I was constantly lost, by the way. I was constantly traveling from weird places, from a lot of trouble, trying to escape trouble all over and over again. There was one place where, like, I would climb over. I would be able to fly for a moment, but then I would bump into two kids who are climbing around bee hives and shit, and there were a lot of bees, and I would hit one hive, I would see tons of bees fucking fly off. Ugh. And they would get stung so badly. But after I helped them, almost accidentally helped them, two kids, then I get to sleep with their parent. Even though it's like, wow, these kids would fucking die from all these bee stings. So that's like one time I get to like, oh, spend the night here. Survive. Fucking survive right there. There were like people knife attacked as if it was some kind of act. Just some freaks, man. Freaks. I would just travel a bunch. And always get in trouble some way, somehow. And always end up in a different place. Like, there was a place, I actually met Jack's films, by the way, which is fucking the weirdest thing. It's like, wow, you do belong in this fucking weird world, don't you? And he was surrounded with fans. I'm not sure what he was doing exactly. But yeah, it still was trouble because it never really fucking settled me down with anything. No, I was still kind of lost. So the next step I'm going is like, wow, there's a lot of old people here. What is this place? It's so fucking weird. Or I would be also find myself in a weird place as if I'm shoplifting, but I would be double framed actually. It's almost like I'm framed to be shoplifting, or not necessarily framed, like more of a, oh, we have to check this out, so we're gonna use crazy measures like knock you off with gas or something, and check your pockets, which absolutely makes no sense. It's every single time I bump into a group of people, it's almost like a cult. That's terrifying. It's a terrifying cult. If you show weakness, you will pretty much get attacked. So it's almost like snakes and ladders puzzle. If you end up in the right place with the right moves, by the way, if you know how to climb a ladder, sometimes the ladder is the snake, and you don't quite know where you're going, so you're going down. Just out of desperation. Oh man. I didn't know at all where I was going. It was just a dream. Until I fucking figure out, yeah, at one moment I had to run away from someone, so I figured out how to fly, but then flying became a problem of its own because it attracts people as well, obviously. So, even that was fucking weird. Everything gets me into trouble. It's almost I didn't travel too far, and that was the moment where I also fucking met Lucid as well, or someone like Lucid. Fucking loser, man. I was stuck, and somehow my personality splits again, which is fucking weird, to say the least. Well, I get to observe myself from another perspective, and I get a call basically from someone, and then I get instructions, right? I'm kind of like stuck with some kind of police force, but not exactly, not a cult police force, but I get to do a phone call, and it's like, oh, I almost like learn a fucking new language immediately. None of it made sense what was happening. Oh, oh, where's John? Is like, well, I'm on a phone call. How do you know? Just say John, just. And then there's this French guy, and it's like I immediately recognize him or whatever, and start talking French, and it's like, oh wait, that's probably not me talking French. Somehow I deassociated from myself. It's almost like I was traveling through some weird fucking worlds, man. Holy shit. People figure out different ways of reality. It's fucking crazy. And the final move that I still remember, kind of vividly, is this Will Smith figure, or like even Morpheus figure, shows up like big black man, but suit up very well. And he had a girlfriend too. It's kind of interesting. Maybe even a fucking hot girlfriend. I didn't get too many looks at her, okay? I cannot scale this up. Actually, there were a few more moments, obviously. There was an insane asylum where I just kind of get a little stuck. I would go through rooms that look like they belong to Asians and shit, and they would be nice enough to help, which is fucking weird. Anytime someone helps, like, wow. And then I would get stuck shoplifting, as I've said, and then police would also show up. As you have these transitions as if you have been gassed. You don't quite catch yourself. And when police catches me, I'm like, oh, I do have drugs on me. Wow, it's the easiest crime to make. Yeah, of course. Of course you found something. And I kind of remember something as well, but who cares? It's all can be just planted memory, apparently. So, everything can be planted. Like, well, congratulations, you planted a seed. I wish I knew what the fuck this is, right? But the real question is, what the fuck do you do in that situation? When the police becomes the fucking... Police becomes the drug dealer, the freedom taker, for whatever reason. What did they do? And it's still something tied with consent as well. There's so much in the world that personally I don't want nothing. I don't want to see nothing, because when you call out much in the world, there's much evil in the world. There's not much good. You can still see the difference between those two things. The fact that I had an ending that didn't quite end because I didn't quite left the black man's like a station, like a little kind of shop in the middle of nowhere. And I was kind of stranded. I had to crawl through like 2 fences. And there were plastic spikes on the bottom. So they weren't really that big of a deal to cross. And yeah, like, as long as I talked smart and I had a huge story behind me, I'm super tired. I felt I was gonna be respected either way, despite the man giving a little bit too much love for whatever reason. So who knows how that story ended. I can tell you guys that one because I woke up. If anything good happened, yeah, that's the end of the story right there. Oh my god, I'm so tired. I've overslept pretty much. Should have woken up like 8. But I got a full sleep. Oh man. This is gonna be the most exhausting ride ever. I'm pretty sure how to do this now. I have to eliminate the 3-dimensional dispatch bullshit and 3-dimensional receiver bullshit. We don't need this, okay? We don't need 3 dimensions. We're gonna work with one-on-one, baby. It's like, holy shit, is it hard to read apparently when you do 3 dimensions? Neither of these help. It's unbelievable. Neither of these fully help. And you cannot do different dispatches either in the same script without using multiple kernels and all that shit. It's just some weird garbage that makes no sense because it would do that. You would get in trouble apparently. Anyways, so I'll do that eventually once I wake up. I still haven't woken up really. It's just so stupid. I'm kind of stuck right now in a sad mood with that still very hurting back. Because my mom really knew how to fucking torture me by picking a shitty bed. Okay. I'm here stuck being tortured just as much. I'm in a fucking cult of some kind just as much as I was like stuck in a moment. It's almost like getting stuck means you're gonna get stuck with weirdness and stupid shit. Regardless. Unless you find the right place for yourself, maybe. Maybe. So weird, man. There's definitely lessons there that I just can't extract. Just like, wow, I had a lot of exams. Wow, I had a lot of stuck in a cult. Travel. Escape moments. Very nice. Oh, fuck. Yeah, it's all about... When it comes to police, it's all about guilt. I'm not sure... Yeah, and when it comes to medics, it's all about giving up consent, so it's all about signing up for things as well. They kind of do the same thing in a different way. Okay. You suck up guilt and you say, well, I'm guilty, so you're gonna do things. Naturally. It's such a deep world, though, psychologically speaking. So deep. It's insane. But, if you're on a cult, you get stuck in a cult automatically. You're automatically evil. So, like, despite my dream having some kind of theme, I think that's what it was. It was a theme of people getting stuck. Despite finding their homes and establishing and all that shit, they get stuck. Who knows how that black man was living? I could have probably dissected the entire story that he had alongside with my story, because that's kind of like protection. If someone really loves you for no good reason, overwhelmingly, you know what they're up to, right? You know they're gonna listen to you a little bit too much into the details. If you're scared, he's gonna extract that and make it a reality. Because he loves everything, okay? You're a new person, basically, in the middle of nowhere. He will love everything. So that's the vibe, basically, but I didn't get quite there yet. You know, we're just flashes of different worlds, I guess. Different personalities. Fucking weird, man. Now that's a fucking 3D world that I like to do. I can just go to sleep and fucking see it all. But this fucking stupid. Oh man. It made me angry. And I realized that I can still do one more thing. If I will stop realizing what I can do, I get stuck so badly. Oh my god. I look at the way that I treated threads and, like, I didn't understood how to do this. The fact that I can just do this so easily. Or in the main frame I just divide by 64. So wherever there's a dispatch, I can do a vector, I don't care. But it ends up being not a vector. It ends up being just like this. Everything's multiplied divided by 64. It just has to be divisible by 64, obviously. And that's where it all ends. No big deal at all. I'm starting to learn. What a bad time to start learning, isn't it? After I've done so much. Well, it's time to learn, guys. But it makes sense. I never really listened to until it becomes problematic. Then you pay attention. That was like 10 seconds or something. If you do linearly. Is this it? It's a fucking square. Oh my god. It worked immediately. Immediately after. What the fuck, man? I was so pissed and angry and couldn't control myself. And now it works immediately after, as if I figured out the mystery. The bullshit behind this insanity. Oh my god, isn't this annoying? 10 seconds too. Oh my god. What? Oh my god. 10 seconds. I mean 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 13, 14, 15, 16. It's not 10 seconds. Fuck you. 20, 21, 22, 23, 25, 6, 7. What the fuck? How was it so fast last time? Oh, it's because I was using the updates. It already updated this. I was just updating this shit. Man, I got sucked into a fucking scam. I got scammed, man. Oh my god. Well, I'm ready for the next phase. Holy shit. We're barely in phase 1.5. Okay. Maybe like 1.1. Maybe I'm just... It's a step in the right direction. One little step. Unbelievable. I'll see you guys in 1.2, I guess. Episode 1.2. But that one thing, like, I set up everything correctly, right? I just couldn't get that one number correctly. And you saw that. You saw exactly my frustration. I put everything in a place that has nothing to do with these numbers. And this one number, I fixed it and everything worked just fine. It's just ridiculous frustration. Holy shit. If I remove this, the movement part, it's all gonna lock in place nicely, I think. I might not have to do this anymore, because nothing will move. Those blue points are gonna show up and stay there. Something's wrong. Of course. Now, obviously, the next step is figuring out how do I inject objects into this thing, because clearly I can't just pick up blocks randomly, can I now? That will never happen. Despite me getting close enough to the dot thingy, because it really is important to be super close. Unless it's hard to tell actually. What was this red thing just appeared in the corner? Is it me being too close or what? Oh yeah, it could have just been a snipe. A fucking snipe. And it goes all the way into the corner. Who knows? If I switch positions, nothing happens. I can't see anything. We'll see, man. Here goes the first true barrier of entry. Oh look, another bump in the road. I think barely when it touches. Wow, it's not even all the time. It's to be here. What? Plus plus, and it has to be 5.5 in size. You don't get it, but I'm trying to lit up where the dot is, in which section, and it only lights up a small section, literally where the blue would be. I imagine there's something to do with threading here at this point. I imagine there's something to do with something I don't understand, which is like, fuck me, this is happening again. Yeah, something unpredictable again is happening, and it's just pissing me off. Like, how? This is supposed to give me equals layer, basically. If vector 1 and vector 2 sits on the same grid, I already draw the points on the screen. So I have the IDs, the float 2 IDs, and I can equate them to this equation, right? And even after I multiply this by 100, I get nothing. What the fuck is this? No, nothing turns red. It's supposed to turn red. Whatever the point hits, whatever the grid it occupies. I multiply by 100 and nothing happens. I don't understand, man. I'm so stuck all the time. Alright, so somehow it doesn't handle... you can see what I was trying to do, but it doesn't handle when it's a float 2 for the grid. It still makes no fucking sense in actuality, because it doesn't require anything. Like, what do you mean? This is equal level. The grid is simply defined as something. I guess what I'm looking for... 1 second. Maybe what I'm looking for is this. I have to ensure this happens. The brackets. Holy shit, dude. Next level math. Bracketing. Let's see if that works. And this time I'll do precision. Yeah, sometimes that's a problem when it comes what I call definitions. Eventually I shouldn't call definitions. Maybe it even increases loading time, but who fucking cares? Okay, who cares? Gotta do my RuneScape homework. 1 second. Oh yeah. Is this the pedo server? What the fuck, man? When did this happen, dude? I already fucking played this statement before. Yeah. Yeah. The video is out. Still not cool. I got to listen to the song again. F me till the daylight, yeah. Yeah, thank you. And then in the end she's like, oh, if you haven't figured it out, I want the 69 with you. The best, right? And the whole fucking sequence is... Who knows what the fuck is going on, actually. Her video makes no fucking sense at all. It's just dancing sequences, man. It's pretty lazy, let's put it this way. I don't know. Looks pretty lazy to me. And she's getting that 90s look, as if anyone likes that. So Ari is just failing so hard, might as well she fall apart in the end of the year. It's like, well, you had previous year was pretty successful, but this year not so much. Maybe you're not gonna keep your first place. I'm just saying. Okay. I still don't know if anyone else can fucking beat Ari, but you know, why did someone just transcend it way up high? Well, because I'm careless. I'm a little bit careless, and when I start caring, then it goes out of control. Okay, I messed it up. I will not do the same mistake. You saw Justin Bieber get a bunch of points, so like nothing bad can happen. Absolutely. It was a test run, so potentially Ari can still be absolutely obliterated, not just defeated. Pretty much the same way if someone is super active and super growing and gets the amazing invitation to battle, which I still don't know what the requirement would be, but hey. We'll see. I still have to deal with this, and actually it works now. I just needed those stupid brackets. You can go now. I just save it up. Well, that was fun. Wasn't it? Wasn't that fun? What do you want from me? Why is it reading all the time? I'm scared. No, this is not okay. This is not expected behavior. What the hell? Taskmaster 79. Am I getting 69 right now? Am I? By the Taskmaster, dude. I'm still trying to poke. The target. And somehow poking is not good enough. Still doesn't exclude everything. What do you mean, dude? Poking should be false, if anything. I'm scared, man. How? It's so disgusting, too. Man, this is annoying. I'll still have to save it first. What do I do to save this? Jesus Christ. Please work this way, man. I got nothing. How? So it didn't got... I hope I saved it then. But why is it not knowing anything? It doesn't know anything. That's ridiculous. All data loaded. What the fuck happened all of a sudden? Jesus Christ. That is nasty, dude. That is fucking nasty. It starts here. Every step it tries and poke the goddamn target. The target, which should be this. But I guess it's a no. Fucking assholes. I don't know what to do, I just overloaded everything. Everything that I've done today. Well, fuck me. RuneScape is not having a good time right now. I'm just saying. Well, nobody's having a good time when I'm disturbed like that. I literally earned like 30 mil or something. But whatever. Whatever. You got me. You know, fucking 3 symbols. And I'm dead. That's programming in a nutshell. 3 symbols, then fucking put 3 symbols in. Get fucked in the ass. I guess I saved this. I don't know. I don't know anymore. Hope it doesn't matter. All that matters is that it actually works. Now that with brackets with 2 symbols. It's a record. We can draw now. A map, look at that. We're drawing a map. I'm gonna create a Minecraft map like this. Easy. No big deal. Oop. That's a spiral right there. Again, all I need is to add objects, but for some reason there are no objects. But I can add, even though there should be. I'm just terrible at it. We'll see. Can at least read the correct screen part and truly observe it if it has stuff. That's all I have, man. So part 1.1 is completed. Again, I completed the read on the screen stuff, put stuff on the screen part. Completed that one from 3D space into 2D. Force it. And apparently there was another part where I'm like, oh yeah, I still don't know what compute shaders are. Yeah, I still don't know that part. And also there's the brackets, okay? Then put brackets in. It's almost like 1.2 right now. 1.2. Let's see if we can start making progress on the actual thing that's supposed to happen at 2. Which is I put the points where they fucking belong and I can actually create 3D shapes with those points, okay? Fucking 3D cubes. Something, okay? Not necessarily like this, but just with points alone. So let's... Next step, boys. So I immediately suspect nothing to be possible. Like, I literally cannot add data and modify anything and do anything with object. I don't even understand. Oh, look, I can visualize blocks. And I only see some walls here. Not exactly sure what this means. There's a few walls of blocks. Obviously, I should make this a little cleaner. Oh, this is kind of cute. This is where all the objects are supposed to be. Apparently. Doesn't even make sense, to be honest. What if I switch? Oh, wow. If I switch, I get this. I'm not sure what I'm reading then. Here you go, the mountain. I'm literally reading just one line. It's still a 3D structure, but maybe we can use it somehow. What a stupid little thing. Okay. Also, I'll clean so it becomes cleaner now. Also, I had to exclude these huge codes in the background, and it runs smoothly. I can save smoothly, so we can speed this up a little bit. Oh my god. Maybe I'll escape this insanity. I think I know what's going on. I am actually reaching the limit of an integer. I'm simply reaching integer limit because I literally make sure that I put the biggest ID ever. Fuck me. How do I break through this though? Because I kind of want to have a bunch of things here. I probably just have to increase the thread number. But even then, like, this is not, well, is it though? Is it even breaking integer number, really? How do I even test this? But it's pretty obvious, right? 1 second here. We should be able to see this quite easily. So, let's see here. I use this, and OL is who knows what. Why didn't I define OL yet? Oak tree level. So I define it here. It's 8. Meaning it's 1 to the power of 8. So it's not quite that much. I mean 2 to the power of 8. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. That's it. That's how many blocks there are in one line. Not a lot. And we can multiply this a few times actually. We hit 16 million still. I knew this was the maximum amount of blocks. And honestly, it shouldn't make any big deals about it. 16 million is still readable. So I have no idea what's going on again. Why is it only reading one line? God help us all, man. Turns out they calculate distance to be very far away. Which makes no sense. And even if I use those... Oh wow, and it's just kind of weird as well. You can see some distance gets enabled. Doesn't necessarily mean anything, honestly. Yeah, if it's red, it's too far away or something. It's fucking weird, isn't it? What's actually happening in the math? It's almost like some kind of angle works. And then it doesn't. Cool, at least I have one sheet of blocks that I'm reading. Hilarious. Now I'm kind of getting pissed. I don't understand. This makes no sense. The distances don't work. I asked specifically to check my distance. What if I use 100 as my distance? Like, this is fucking weird, right? I have camera position. I go towards that. It doesn't matter which one is first. Honestly. And I get the length between those things. And I know these points exist because I draw them on the screen. And I'm reading them right now. So I should be able to get something. And you get the length, you get distance to that object. What else am I supposed to do? 100. Okay, 100 works. So you can see there's something wrong with the number itself that I have been using this whole time. Pretty cute though, right? Pretty cute, I'm not gonna lie. I think I'm gonna try and get some coloring in there. So, the estimated position is gonna... Normally the color code is like this. For hot pink. Gonna do it like this. Oh, there's no green. What the hell? I guess all I have to do is use hot pink. As position, whatever this number is supposed to be, because apparently I fucked it up. How is this not divisible by these numbers? I don't understand. Object max. We'll figure it out. Yeah. Object max must be a 0 or something, because like every other number would make sense. What if I add object max in there? What would happen? Let's find out all those variables, man. Holy shit, it's annoying because you cannot test anything. You don't see any numbers yet. Okay, we have the effect that I was looking for. The closeness. Look at me. Oh, man. Now, I know I'm creating objects as well. Now, finally, the 100 most closest objects. I'm kind of setting them up. And I would like to see them printed out for me in color. Blue again, maybe? Let's pick a color, guys. Purple. I don't think it's gonna be printed out, but you never know. No, it's not printed out. We just got ourselves a cute little effect going. Actually, I know why. Actually, I don't know why. Wait, what? Oh, there is no read. So we know, for sure, read size sucks ass, potentially. What if I turn this into a float? What if for no reason it becomes functional now that it's a float for some reason? What the fuck? Because again, we have object max very well defined as 1 powered up 20 times. Okay, which actually means 1 byte has been moving forward. So this would be 1 byte, 2 bytes, right? Okay, you move a byte 1 time, that's what you get. And you move byte 20 times, you get something like 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. You get something like this. All I have to do is divide it by 32 twice, and I get 1020. 24. Whoa, that's not a lot at all. Maximum amount of objects, 1024. Oh no. In one array? But it still splits the screen so very well in so many points that one object can't really be... I mean, 1000 objects in that one area, it's not gonna happen. It's just not gonna happen. Or that's the assumption, actually. I'm so surprised, however, how it doesn't fucking divide anything. What the fuck? I think I can use a different... No, who cares? I'm just trying to get the goddamn thing to work. Is scam slot important? Of course it's not important. Everything is a fucking float now. Indivisible floats. I mean integers. Bunch of assholes. That's what they are. Indivisible. Oh, look at that. So you saw me have 1000 in the end. Which is still pretty good. Read size, asshole. We can do this. The heat map can stay the same. Doesn't concern me at all. Yeah. I don't know, actually. What am I looking at exactly here? Everything that's not on the list is gonna get booted like this. Wow. 2 seconds of loading. I can't handle that. Oh, so it's not in. What the fuck is this bullshit? That is incredible. Wait, 1 sec. Wait. No, but I did it specifically here, like this. So if I do this... What am I fucking looking at, dude? Oh, I think I'm looking at an integer again. Am I not? Object max itself is an integer, which can go fuck itself. A bull! Wow, I missed by a long shot there. Holy shit! Oh my god. Oh my god, I'm retarded now because of this. This creates retardation in my brainers. I think I can keep integer. I don't know, man. I think it's fine. I think we're gonna be just fine with integers all over the place, or they're not used to be integers. Also, oh my god. It might even summon purples. Purple guys. Come on, purple guys, let's go. No, no purple guys. No, no even heat map. Okay. What if we exclude all the losers? Not exactly sure here. Is it really required to be float? Are you kidding me right now? Fucking mad. I think we figured that one out though. Yeah. Fuck. I hate floats doing this shit to me, but hey. Whatever. You can't divide an integer because you fucking suck. I still don't get the purples. But all of them disappear, so they get sucked into the function. And also, I still don't know how to unlock the rest of the map. Just one sheet of the map is presented to me. Thanks, guys. Well played. Is this because of division again? Are you kidding me? Is this again the same fucking thing? Does float live forever? No. What? I thought it was close, man. I thought it was close in solving the mysteries of the universe. God damn it. Now, I think float now would be too small, in a way. But god damn it, dude. Why would it be too small, though? It's 23. 23 slots. Fuck. We're still stuck quite a bit, but I think we can say we did like 1.3 now. We got here. Whatever that fucking is. Apparently we're inching. We're barely inching. And 2 is not even the main out, okay? 3 is when we have all kinds of fucking bullshit happening on the screen. Because these are objects. Drawn. So, wow, isn't that fucking slow right now? Holy shit. I just want some points on the screen, guys. Okay, we have... Wait. Yeah, they released the thing, but... Oh. We can play duels now. We can test our skills, or we at least did that, and now we can play it. Congratulations. This is not okay. Okay, so... It's actually trying to move around the points even though it has plenty of space. It's a very weird thing here. There's plenty of space. The points shouldn't be red. This shouldn't be anything at all, actually. But what it says to me, the estimated position has moved. Oh shit, of course it moved. Jesus Christ. What do we have here? Still the same thing, actually. Look at that. Now that makes no sense. Doesn't even make sense that I zoom in and nothing changes either. Holy shit. Has to be higher, meaning that it had to move at least a few positions over, as if it was already occupied. I think it's... Well, oh yeah. If it's equal. Yeah, it's fine then. So this could actually fix everything as well. I always have to double check everything. It's so fucking terrifying when a few symbols mean so much in the code and they can sneak in very easily. Visual coding is so much better. Whatever that is at this point. Whatever. You're not dealing with symbols anymore. You're dealing with actual concepts that want to test themselves immediately as well. So what I did, I need to equate this with 0, then I can fill in the blank. This is a blank, I fill in the blank. If it's not a blank, it continues cycling through until it finds a blank. Let's start this up. We might actually get objects integrated, but we're not getting anything actually. Okay. Does it still skip? Because it can't skip anymore. It's not allowed to skip. It breaks the function. It still skips, regardless which one I choose. Now that is next level, dude. Whether it's equal or not equal, it doesn't matter. What if I just break this? I literally can't break it or something? What's going on? I literally can't. Oh, it's plus... Fuck me. I'm actually retarded again. But that's just what happens. So I have to ensure that this is larger than this. I was boosting I to be larger, and of course it's larger. Oh my god. The exhaustion. Nothing shows up, that means it's all fine. So at some point, we find a way to inject an object. Now we're checking the opposite to detect the object. But who cares? Let's just not. Let's just not check anything. Let's see what we find. Whether it's empty or not, it doesn't matter anymore. So yeah, every single object is purple down here. Means nothing to me. So somehow objects got cleared. I think what's happening here is I cannot actually modify anything. The read-write thing, it doesn't actually work. That's the scary part. That's what I think is happening. That's why I didn't want it to use this at all. But a bigger problem is going to be fixing... Why am I only seeing one layer of this shit? I need to fix that. There's so much drama going on, man. I fucking hate myself for being stuck in this loop. Not even knowing how to inject objects into my system and read them properly. Just because I find objects with a 0, that just means there are no objects. And I honestly believe I can't actually manipulate this part. Potentially I have to like reload it or something. But then, of all things, she's doing shit, so I should just be able to copy her code, right? Her stuff gets updated. So she has structures, right? She has all these particles running around. That's pretty important. How about I do a very, very simple test. There's a point right here, right? So what would happen if I actually set this point to objects? It's probably going to disappear, right? I set it up here and then try and read it. I think there's something interesting going on, maybe. What if I do this? Because potentially if you pick this thing up, you might not be able to modify it. I think everything is treated separately, so it kind of creates a copy of an object. It can still happen, but we have to double test, right? So we take the position here. I set this guy up, and instead of checking this thing now, we're gonna check this. I hope that's correct. Why is there 2 of them though? I only need 1 point. There's the sized point, and then there is... Oh! Whether it's inside or not, okay. It's a check, it's just simply a check. This is the ID. Okay. To check if it's inside. Okay, what do we get? We got a bunch of purple points now. Correct. Very. Also creates a few purple points too. Splatters some purple points, probably because it's kind of wrong. We still see our little point working. Where are you, little shit? We can zoom in into this one. We made progress! Congratulations me, man. Holy shit. Well, I guess that means we leveled up. 1.4. We're there. I don't know what's happening at all right now. Holy shit. Now I'm happy and I'm fucking... I want my drama back. I want my YouTube calculator back. The more I look, the more points it will fucking create. What is going on, though? Oh, shit! Look at that! I'm creating red ones just by looking at them. What the fuck? What the fuck does that mean? Why does it create purples in such weird positions, too? What the hell? Oh, it spreads them out quite a bit, huh? This was our square, and this is the purple square. Holy shit. Ah, what a mess. Well, you can at least see how many blocks of... how many polygons I can render without FPS breaking down. Okay, you can see something here. It's not bad. I'm sure if I texture those things, it's gonna be fine. Okay, I need to... I need to know what is happening here. I need to reread everything again. Now with this new discovery of like, oh, that's how you change objects. Oh, thank you guys. We figured it out. We figured it out. Holy shit. So, we place color purple. That's what we got. For those guys, they have their own position. So that's cool. But that position is not noted, first of all. First thing first, huh? Their position is not noted. There is a specific size that everyone has to follow. At the moment, it's probably not the greatest idea of all time, okay? We can probably eliminate that size right now in its entirety. How about we do that? Cause like this is node size, we don't use that around here anymore. All that node garbage is getting the fuck out of here. It's archaic and it's not as useful as it, you know, appears to be all over the place, right? That's another thing that ray tracing did to me. It's like, well, there's a grid, I'm confined into a grid, and I need to know the node size. Yeah, the size of my no. I need to know the no. Oh my god, what do we have? So we spread them out evenly, basically, I think. The red ones can only appear, or purples don't exist yet, I think. Yeah, it looks like that, right? It definitely looks like that. Wow, what a nice little art. You bet this fucking cost $10,000. You bet. And I can splatter on this art as much as I want. Don't I? That was a splatter right there. The closer I get, the more likely it is to become purple. The purple guy. Wow. What a splatter, by the way. Fucking weird. How does it happen like that? Oh. Is this what it takes? Looking at the weird angle? Splatter. I probably can remove the blue boxes, I think. I think we're not gonna need them right now. I think I'm enjoying the moment right now. Whoops. Of splatters. Purple splatter. Adventures. Adventures of the purple splat. It's so much better, by the way. It's so stupid, but it's too entertaining, actually. It's almost like, oh, it's Euclidean thingy. I remember this. There's a bunch of squares that turn into something. You know? A bunch of particles. Yes, I like that. I will sell that for 1,000. My first art piece. Thank you. Can't really delete or add anything, but here you go. I don't know why there's a structure like this. What the hell? There's also a few holes too that I can fill up. It's probably some fucking amazing structure. Very iconic. Oh, there's a purple purple thingy as well here. Where the actual red dot is. I wonder... Oh, yeah. Because I actually removed this, and I move it there. It's just... Oh my god. There's so much going on. So much. I think I don't need the point anymore. Where is it? Damn, this is weird. Also, it's a very interesting deal where, like, you have to look up to be able to render points. It's not something I like, actually. Why do I have to look up? It makes no sense. See, it slowly looks up. What happens if I do this? Nothing? Really? Nothing. I was changing the room. Oh my god. See, I'm changing the room. This is the only places that purples can actually exist. Where the red ones are. They forever will be solid here, apparently. Man, we can make more art for no reason. What the fuck is this, man? Look at all these rays, too. Damn. Am I too entertained by this? What's going on? That's the biggest problem right now. What if I get entertained by garbage? It's not even 3D, by the way. I still haven't figured out how to pull that out of my fucking hat. It's supposed to be 3D. It's supposed to be a lot of points on the screen. I forgot one thing, obviously. To ensure that this also gets nullified. How do I do that, though? Probably have to hard code this. I really don't know, guys. Oh, man. I think... Well, I can define it, actually, so... It should be fine if I define it. I think that's what define function is used for in the first place. Like, you get into these fucking situations. It's too specific. It's too fucking weird. Hashtag define. Let's go. God damn it, I can't do anything, man. There's so much drama. It's like, wow, the gamer girl shows up after I ping her. It's like, who wants to fight? Jesus Christ. I thought I was the only troll the troll moment in the universe. Oh yeah, and this is Anisi on Discord. This is my next level, guys. First level was Antwenum. and then Hightail. Hightail News to be specific. And now Onision. How do we get this jump? No one knows, okay? No one knows that. I guess I hanged out in Rebecca Black Discord in between, but that doesn't mean anything. Yeah, I have to do an emergency rewind of what happened, because these guys have corrupted my chat a little bit. Not too much. Okay. Still not sure about some people. What are they gonna find for themselves, but whatever. If they're gonna find themselves ever back in. So I black purple their names. It seems appropriate. And they can't actually type in the home chat. They can only type in the fake chat. And that's where they're allowed to chat. If they do anything else, it's just gonna be awkward. And it's just gonna maybe result in the first ban ever in history. You know, you have to do a lot to get that. That's an achievement. Because if you toy with me, I toy with you. Just, that's how it goes. Apparently Geo knows that the role gets reset if she kicks herself out, if she leaves and re-enters the channel. So that's interesting. Other than that, it's just her chatting, because the dude who kind of brought the entire team didn't, well, he just stayed in the voice chat. He didn't left a trace of anything besides his picture. Okay? As an emo girl face, basically. Because that's something that happens to you. Anyways. Now I'm gonna sit here and rank up Onision again. If I'm being honest, Onision has this much top Onision. He's at top 30 still. Let's see if he ranks up when I just sit here. Right now it's 7:30 and I'm gonna go to sleep whenever I exhaust myself. Because technically the engine is gonna move as a slug, I suppose. It's gonna be annoying. But I still, now I have invented something that I need personally quite a lot. Also, you can see how it follows a very interesting pattern here. A look pattern where it cuts in half. So I can kind of predict what's going on here, but I can't be sure. So we're gonna read over and over again until we find what's going on. What do these blocks mean? I can activate this, where it animates the wave effect just like it normally would. So, but I still don't know how to make this 3D. What did I messed up so badly that it's just 3D? I mean 2D. It just takes one portion of what I built previously. So, yeah, let me think here. So what's going to be next plan? I make it 3D. The most important part is to ensure that I know how to read properly. I can already throw stuff on the screen, right? So as long as I don't chop it in half and just slice a 3D portion, I will go to the next phase. Because now I can identify objects. I will still test one more thing, which is like, these are all objects, by the way. All of them are objects. This is crazy. You must admit, this is fucking crazy. They can actually move around freely, and every single polygon can move around freely and animate itself. And I'm still at 70 FPS. Probably, I'm just peak FPS, so it doesn't go down at all. Or it doesn't go up. So that's cool. All of these are objects. So I can place this anywhere I want. I can already play around with this as long as I do the chopping properly. Whatever chops this. So we're gonna have to read this again and again until we figure out the problem. Now I'm just gonna sit here and just chill, because I need to chill. This is a tough moment. Because a bunch of corruption showed up into my life. And I now know what it means, more or less. Like when Vector joined in, he joined in with a bunch of people. They were different enough, they were not piled up in a group, so you can actually individually translate whether they're corrupted or not, whether they in on the joke, basically, in with the crew, because they have to hang together if they want to survive the madness, basically. It's so interesting. I mean, my life being paralleled with a lot of things right now. So a second drama that I wouldn't even expect to have. I didn't expect Onision to cause so much stuff in my life, actually. I'm not sure how to feel about this. Obviously, it's just a one-timer. And didn't very satisfy me because it didn't do anything, honestly. It just challenged me a tiny bit and improved my understanding of how deep Discord can truly be. Okay, Discord can be deep. That's one thing. And just understanding every single possibility. Right now I'm just following in my heart, right? Like, that's all I can do. Whatever I come up with, that's probably a good idea to try and do it. But other than that, I do have to start establishing and collecting whatever move I make, or just at least ensure that I remember it properly, that it's written in history properly, and I know what happened. So like when people go to voice chat, when they're so fucking anxious they have to do it, you know they're not gonna leave a lot of traces. Maybe it's a good idea to encourage them to message something. Maybe it's a good idea to challenge them to be muted. So I was trying a few things, but in the end I never really focused on it. I just now realize there's no trace. There's no actual story. I even like did this thing, Onision Squad Arrives thing. Because having a timeline is very, very nice, I would say. And I have next year plans in here. I'm not sure here, but this Try Not to Cry challenge kind of will remind me of this chat, actually. Also, there's this comment where I will improve Discord if it collects 50 hearts. So right now it's, well, I hearted it myself. So it's 3 hearts, it's 2 additional ones. So that's about it. Also, she was upset that I removed some nasty images of corpse, I guess. It's hard to tell. They were nasty anyways. She forgets about it, potentially. Cool, a new map that we could chew, I guess, but I don't like to. There's something else I found though that's kind of interesting though. Yeah, Biden is winning by 21 on my list, which could be recalculated, of course. But the interesting part flipped. Okay, yeah, so you have certain states that are super close, like 1% difference. 1.2. This one is a little bit more defined. So we can take away Michigan, I think. if those states flip, this is like a 57% difference. Besides, Trump just has to flip anything at all, to make a huge difference in here. Which is why it's not over yet, actually. Very much not over. So how much does he have to flip? He has to flip 38 points to win. That could be just maybe even 2 states. Potentially no. He needs 3 states flipped. But if they split, I mean, these are 5 states, so even that's kind of tough to do. But yeah, he needs to just flip 3 states. 3 closest states would be Georgia, Arizona, and Wisconsin, maybe? Yeah, Wisconsin looks super close. If he flips those, he gets 37, which is still not enough to win. God damn it. Isn't that hilarious? The closest states that he has to flip is 1 point short. So that's the craziest thing, I think. Oh man. Flip. The flippy states. Oh yeah. Battleground. Also see the battleground states. For some reason, Texas is in the battleground mode. That's a huge one, by the way. This is where if you were calculating my way, Biden pretty much wins Texas simply because of 46%, pretty dominating score anyways. There's still big states that very much infected by Biden, and Trump has no idea what happened there. So, in my calculations, Biden's also winning, and my calculations are a little bit more stable. They cannot be flipped because it's all about votes distribution in order to grab points, which is how it's supposed to be. And I don't respect Electoral College that much, after all. Anyways, that's just a recap of what I did. Not a big deal. Because some people still talk about the election, and I'm like... But we kind of lost, though. We kind of lost, man. So, they can shove it in our faces early on. Who cares? But, I'm not for Trump. I don't quite care at all. I'm just for the president who have wanted to be a president again. Something that we're familiar with. I'm not familiar with Biden at all, so we're gonna get familiar with him, and I'll be like, oh, Biden's okay. Because I know his tricks. He will be less secure in the office, or more secure in the office, but I will still know the tricks. It's his choice to go nuts, basically, or to respect people's wisdom, basically. So it's his choice. Anyway, so I'm gonna stick around. It's 13 minutes and I'm off my medication. YouTube is my medication for sure. I'm gonna keep myself from comments just yet. Again, this was just a small little adventure side quest to jump in on Onision's Discord and grab something. Because Onision would join today and just say hi and just say confirmation to like, oh yeah, you need to talk to my manager about this one-on-one conversation that you just bought. I didn't bought it, but my friend did. Or a newbie friend, because I met her in the Discord channel myself. Yeah, we'll see. The Onision era. That's not gonna happen. I'm just sticking around because I found a Discord where I can stick around for some reason. I'm not gonna lie, but TikTok is a little bit scary actually. It definitely, 100% of the time. Okay, whatever. Nobody likes Blizzard apparently. They just love playing Hearthstone for some reason. Yeah, whatever. So the idea is, I believe, that 100% TikTok is the prime generation, prime zero generation, and then it's YouTube first generation. Potentially I can re-graduate myself using TikTok somehow, once I figure it out, once I spend enough time and actual investment, because like, I would reply to a lot of people and a lot of random people would stumble upon me and find me interesting, and I want to know exactly what it is. Maybe it's also that time. Okay. Maybe there's something, some special vibe I can actually conjure. Maybe after creating music as well. Who knows? Or maybe even doing my own project. Maybe that's gonna feed into it. Now, why is TikTok so fucking fabulous? It's like a factory of videos flowing through, and you have to work, basically. You kind of have to work through the videos. You have to know what to follow and all that shit. It's not an easy task, and most of the time it's gonna be crumplets from YouTube as well, so it kind of throws you back. It's really a big puzzle, I would say. It's even bigger puzzle of like, what do you do on the platform if you do want to make TikToks? Oh, you just showcase your talents. Yeah, sure. Sure, buddy. Once TikTok is 5 years older, maybe your talents actually get you somewhere. Right now, maybe TikTok can be a thirst trap. Can it be a talent trap? No, maybe only an interest trap of some kind. Okay, so you build something that looks good, that is super repetitive, to the point where people are like, oh, I know this person. If you make something incredibly repetitive, if you make something incredibly obscure, and you also have to be quite courageous as well when you do it. You get the idea, like, fucking gamer girls are definitely doing a lot of effort to stay on the platform. Are they really the pivot? The kings and queens? I'm not sure about the guys just yet. I like motivational speakers mostly. Maybe it's just my personal preference. See, that's kind of my perspective. I see a lot of gamer girls, and you can actually group them up, and I can group motivational speakers from my perspective. So potentially those groups actually exist, and they would make kind of a lot of sense too. Okay. Why? Because women never really like talking, apparently. They just like looking good. And even when there is a chance to talk or sing, they just put on someone else's song instead and dance. So it's all about the looks with women, and it's all about kind of the experience grind, like the ultra statement, ultra hammer statement that you put down and you hold on to it, as at least in order to define yourself. At least for that. You can't quite define everything in the world. but you define yourself what your interests are. Okay. If you talk about relationships too much, if you talk about pickup too much, if you talk about self-reflection too much, you must understand that these motivational speakers, as cool as they are, they're also still minded towards something. They're still having agendas of something, and they have never been tested in a certain light, let's put it this way. You can say YouTubers have never been tested as well. But some YouTubers don't actually exist on YouTube. They have never really pushed through the idea of what it means to be a YouTuber. They never really dreamed about it. They just kind of happen to use the platform as it comes, as it happens to be useful. Okay, you upload some gameplay, oh, it's super easy. You're streaming, so you can still upload something. If you make videos of any kind, if you make content of any kind, you might find yourself here, but it's still a big question of like, what is actually a good format? No one really figured out what is actually a good format. Like, you can't just drag around cameras and pretend to be a skit maker like everyone else. Even Smosh kind of tried to, or spill out, and especially in coronavirus time, they spill out into other categories instead of just doing skits. It became quite a tough situation, I would say. This year would have destroyed a bunch of skit channels in the first place, completely obliterating them. So apparently, YouTube is not exactly established as a very high confidence platform. Anything can happen, and you might not actually get away with that. Maybe the only person who really can survive is PewDiePie, because, well, he probably transcends beyond YouTube into the gaming world, which is a different category entirely. Okay. And you would think, oh, it's just made out of gamers, right? These are the people who found technology to be useful as an enhancement of life itself. They don't use YouTube as, oh, let's just project my life to everyone else. These people enhance their lives, or dedicate their lives into something. Now, if you do it properly, you definitely belong in this generation, but now it's a lot more difficult entry, let's put it this way. Life enhancement. Because your life becomes cheap, clear. All the problems are kind of solving themselves. You can grab any amount of power you want. And technically, I'm kind of playing into this mindset myself, a little bit pretentiously, like I always do. I pretentiously grabbed YouTube and I'm like, oh, I'm a YouTube CEO and everything. Does it really work that way? Is it good enough? Kind of is. Because technology keeps moving forward, and being on that edge of technology is just going to really propel you as well. But you also have to master it and control at least a portion of this place to be able to eventually put it on full force. I still haven't graduated there, okay, but you can taste that I'm starting to see what it looks like with all the weird stuff that I'm making right now. So I'm mastering Discord, I'm trying to understand YouTube, I'm kind of finding out TikTok to be a big deal in a way. I think TikTok and Discord kind of go hand in hand in a way. How the fuck does that make any sense? There's certain social medias that actually make sense to me. Does Tinder make sense? Tinder makes less sense than these two things. I might even reevaluate what I thought about. But there's a bunch of tea like Twitter, Twitch. There's a bunch of TV platforms. Potentially they have been leading up to this culmination here. Where you pretty much get everything you need, but you only get a few seconds of fame in that sense. And you have to understand that that's usually what you get in the first place. So what is it that you're gonna value the most in the end? Like, it's a big question. It's something I cannot answer. Going back is a little bit harder than going forward. It's usually a resource that, you know, it's for newer generations, I suppose. I'm not a person who gives up anything, any kind of resource, but because, well, the resource grows up and you like, it's now in your pool of things. It actually feeds you kind of directly. So you can imagine even a greater resource than this is something related with business and money, but in a higher level format. Not government. This is also government, by the way. The G generation. It's at the same level as the government. But the true government is the ones who control technology. Again, the true people know how to take advantage of the fact that technology replaces government. So whenever government wants, you usually can stay dormant with technology and ignore what government wants, what government demands usually. If you can avoid demands, if you avoid serving someone, you also keep your freedoms to yourself as well. Because usually it doesn't end there. You don't just serve people once, they want it more and more and more, and it never really ends, actually. Until people realize, oh, I don't actually want it anymore. So, in a way, you understand in life you have to actually tease people for a long time to keep people's interest. You could say the same thing about reality. Well, we're not getting superpowers. We're not getting all these things. We're being teased by the reality because once we break reality, life becomes incredibly boring. And you don't want that, actually. You want to keep yourself grounded in some kind of specific level where things still make sense, okay? So for me, I'm here. I'm in the magical realm where still a lot of people putting effort, and you can, you still have plenty of things to explore. And TikTok is not necessarily a bigger place for exploration. That's why it doesn't quite, you can't quite go back, as I've said. And this is a huge form of exploration, as you can feel. If I take control over technology, I can create any game I want and then play it for myself and not even worry what other people are doing anymore. So going back to YouTube would make no sense. Going back to people playing something or interacting a certain way or building relationships, I already pretty much have everything I want using technology. How the fuck is that possible? Oh, it's very possible. It is very possible. Maybe I haven't touched a few corners myself. Maybe I haven't programmed everything. But, and even further than that is the question, like, what is tier 4 then? If everything expands. But you still have to go back to just kind of observe what's going on. Like, Discord's super unstable platform, super scary at first for me personally. Every interaction is scary. Until you break down that these people are just kind of casuals, right? Their interest revolves around sexual anxiety, and that's where they end up, not really caring about much else, simply because it feels like you gain power when life pleasures you. That's the ultimate power. But in reality, it's good to acknowledge that some things you do in life are not pleasures, and you try and run away. The best strategy to win in life is slowly pull out the failures instead of chase success, right? You gotta eliminate failures first and learn those failures because they keep showing up, you know, like you are growing as a person and you're adopting more, you know, possibilities in life, more opportunities which you're gonna be bumping into basically with your ego. You're gonna show up in more places over the internet. You're gonna show up outside when it's not 2020, okay? 2020 it's a special year, okay? Someone fucking rigged it. You know that. You must know that by now. It's just all fake, but we have to not panic about it and not really accept the meme for what it isn't. It's just a fucking meme. Old people die all the time. We can't save them. We can't even fucking be with them to, you know, comfort them as they are dying in general, right? Do you have time for that? To comfort old people? What if they act like children? What if it's actually disappointing? What if I have been neglected just like an old man would, right? There's no difference. So because I don't see the difference, I can't help a person who's no different than me. I have to help myself first. You know, that's crazy, but this is where it all comes down. This virus showing all signs of fakeness and fraud and hostility towards just people who want to live their lives and not worry about things. That's a huge hostility towards that point, towards just taking away our freedoms for no reason. We should just treat life without fear of death, but we shouldn't accept death as something that must happen, obviously. We shouldn't accept that, oh, someone can just pick up a gun and shoot you in the face whenever they feel like it. You must believe and trust yourself that the person who picks up a gun has way more fear than you do. Who has to go through the scenario of shooting someone in their head over and over again just when they own a gun in the first place. And they kind of get sick of that scenario playing out. They want to get rid of that curse, basically, of power. Curse of power and possibility of doing bad things to other people. So imagine that. We can do all these things. We can embrace social justice that's truly meant to be without need of being distracted. But hey, there's a lot to work through, okay? I'm sure people are not ready for highly intelligence. Only a few select people are willing to go further because they're still suffering in life. And some people actually manufacture their lives in order to suffer because that's the goal. The goal is not to suffer, the goal is to let yourself suffer, okay? Let yourself suffer because you're interested in improvement, you're not interested in pleasure that you can get right now, because it's kind of hard to understand the pleasure that you can get right now. It's like these people who came into my Discord start asking a bunch of questions, and I'm like, I can't answer anything because it's just you trying to pleasure yourself in every way possible, and it's probably not even a good place to do that necessarily, but they still get my answers in a way of like me not wanting to answer. The answer is also an answer. That's how you have to treat other human beings. You have to give them the full freedom to express themselves, and if I don't want to express myself towards a certain question, that means it's not a good question. You have to do something else. You have to find my interests that are actually important to me, and then you will spawn a proper conversation. Otherwise, you're just wasting our time. If you can't make that spark in between, spark that relationship, you didn't do your job, basically. You just fled to what's easy, and what's easy is not quite rewarding, okay? It's always about, pick up more skill and you're going to be rewarded for it. That's what life wants kind of you to figure out for yourself, because there's nothing better than that. Be rewarded for your skill. Okay, there's a lot of ways to feel rewarded, and that's it. That's what you chase. It's a true feeling. So, it's still, in the end, it's just you, and yes, you might not even exist in the presence of a god, but it's fun to sit here and just be you for that moment, and get yourself rewarded for the time being, for the eternity, if that's how life works. So, that's how I end my video. See you guys not on TikTok, as I don't have space, right? I need more space. YouTube is my fucking jam. So I jam 3-hour videos just because that's my jam. Maybe that's how it works, right? On TikTok you post super tiny content, and on YouTube you just have to be like, prove your worth, basically. First of all, prove your worth, obviously. I'm not sure how to do that yet. But once you do that, you pretty much have your entire career set up, and you will never lose subscribers, you will never lose fans, because you always have something to say and offer, and you're living your life, you're improving, and every single improvement is a celebration-worthy move that everyone should know about. And you never know when it's going to happen as well, because your mind has to travel and pick all these things up, and you have to provide all the context, you have to provide the battles that you have inside of you, to defeat all the insecurities. Like, every single time I have to tell myself, like, I have to make 3-hour videos. It's I stop allowing people to attack me in the future about it. It's like, yeah, my videos are long. It doesn't mean kind of anything. You just have to explore them. It's a completely different concept now of a YouTube channel. Okay, it's now purely exploration worthy, and not much. You pick up your own vibes and whatever you like, but that's what a YouTuber is supposed to do, is explore themselves and let other people explore them at the same time, and not to go overboard with some weird, cringy challenges and things that other people do. Don't be a copycat. It makes no sense, honestly. You have to be genuinely interested in things. You have to genuinely provide full context. That's when I'm interested in your life as well. That's when it's just easy to relate to people, for fuck's sake. Your interest is my interest if you're truly interested in something. Because I let people be interested in things. There's always new things in the world happening that you can attach yourself to. But that's for children, okay? That's for kids. That's for people who just are empty. Someone who never played a game picks up a game that's completely away from my circle of games that I care about. But I might still be interested in a person who never been a gamer starts playing games. Like, I would be interested because I still know what game is. I played games myself. I want to see how that person does if I care about them. So, building up interest, not that difficult. Okay? I force myself to be interested in almost every YouTuber ever. And you can do whatever you want, basically. You have full freedom. And one freedom you don't have is call yourself a YouTube CEO, because I take that freedom away. I don't think anyone else is doing as good of a job as I am. It's just the rest is up to everyone else. Who do they want to praise? Okay, do they want to praise a person who they want to hate on, and that builds them self-esteem, or do they want to praise someone who's actually willing to do the work and be super transparent? I'm willing to be super transparent and do my own work. I'm not here to rely on other people to do my work. That's actually quite difficult to do as well. You should be in your confined space and do your work and work with your own skills. It's a very difficult thing because everyone is like, well, we should be working on a team and all that shit. It's fine. Working in a team is fine. But you can lose yourself as well. You might feel actually left out, that you're not challenging yourself personally. If you're left alone for a long enough time, you will start challenging yourself to be a better person. There's a lot of concepts, as you can tell, spilling out. I don't want to overload this video. As long as it is, let's keep fucking building when I wake up. I'm so hurt right now. Adrenaline hurts because it makes it makes me harder to go to sleep. And that's what happens when I interact with people. Okay, maybe I personally don't want to be a YouTube celebrity, and like that's a good thing. Maybe I have to be discovered in a very cringe, secret way, mysterious ways. You will find me as a YouTube CEO, and maybe I still have a few years to prepare myself for the onslaught. Anything can happen, and that's what I have to be ready for 100%. I have to be 100% ready for this shit. Anyways, keep influencing people. I'm watching.